Welcome everyone back to the new normal. I'm sure everybody's getting used to all of the new normals and everything that comes along with that. I think we've got a little bit of an echo going on. But last week we talked about leadership, and we talked about having a plan. And that's something that's very, very important as we think about this. There's a lot of uncertainty that many of us are experiencing, many of us as business owners, and many of us as your employees as well. And so as we hear this constant news cycle, people are uncertain about what's going on with the economy here in our country. People are uncertain about the health of loved ones that they have that they know that may be at a higher risk. People are uncertain with what may be happening with their job or what's going on there. And with uncertainty, it's really hard to maintain a positive attitude as we're going out and we're talking to customers, or we're picking up those phones or going in and doing the work for one of the industries that has been designated as a necessity. It has been a necessity throughout the beginning of time when you think about what we do in the HVAC industry. This is an important industry that impacts people's health, and it impacts their comfort, it impacts their safety. And so this is something that we all need to make sure that we're aware of. You know, there's been several national disasters over the last couple of years, from the fires out in California to the floods that we had in the Midwest to tornadoes, hurricanes. And each time this industry has risen to the challenge to be able to go out there and serve their communities and take care of people that are in needs. And I have no doubt that this industry is going to be able to rise to the occasion during this event that we're in right now, and make sure that we're able to take care of everybody that we love and that we're taking care of. This week, we're going to be talking about, we're going back into the HVAC business cycle, and we're going to be focusing on the term virtual. And so as we go through the HVAC business cycle this week, I want you to think about how you can go virtual as an HVAC company, as an HVAC business owner. Matt Plugoff is going to be talking about the virtual sales process and some of the statistics and some of the facts that he's been able to observe, and some of the conversations that he's had with other contractors out in the field. Jennifer is going to be talking about taking your office virtual. Many of you have been trying to find ways that you can have more of your office be able to work from home and be able to serve customers the way that you're looking to, and she'll be giving you some tools and resources that you'll be able to take and use to help with managing that virtual office process. Brigham's going to be talking about the virtual customer and what that means to you, as far as customers today being more adapt to technology, just like we've all been using many of the streaming services more. Many of our customers have been using the streaming services more. And how can we adapt to that? And how can we adapt to virtually every customer in our marketplace that has challenges and needs, and be able to help solve the problems and challenges that they have. David Holt is going to talk about your training strategy, because now that certain people within your organization may have shifted their lives, how do we make sure that we keep up with training and make sure that our people are able to respond when we get back to whatever this new normal may be? And so we'll look at some tools that David will share with us in the virtual training strategy. Tom Whitman will talk about the virtual comfort advisor. I do really believe that we are going to see the sales process change dramatically because of the events that we're living in now. And Tom has been working with his team over at Procom to develop solutions for you to better equip your comfort advisors to be able to adapt to the new normal that we have. Matthew Bratzis has some very exciting information for us when we talk about virtual financing and how we'll be able to provide solutions for our customers there. And then I'll finish with our virtual presence. How do we make sure that we are top of mind for our customers when they need us and are able to take care of them? So that's how we're going to walk through the HVAC business cycle this week, and I'm very excited about that. Many of you have had the opportunity to see where we have put the the videos for the Thriving in the New Normal series, and I actually have seen quite a few requests for trainings that are starting to come in through our business toolbox. And for those of you that are not familiar, I just wanted to walk you through the home screen here and let you know where some of the different things are located in the Goodman Business Toolbox, or the Amana Brand Business Academy, or the Franklin HVAC University. The first one we have is View Training, Schedule, and Register. This is where you will see all of our upcoming trainings. You can register, or you can send that link out to anybody that would like to register for the Thriving in the New Normal series. We're going to be putting some other virtual trainings up there for you shortly that you can have your team subscribe to and be able to participate in. We have our program brochure, all of our curriculum for all of our classes. This will give you a brief overview of the workshops we have available. And this is an opportunity for you to say, hey, I really would like this training in my area, or I'm interested in having this workshop. And we can work with your distributor, and as far as putting together an event that they can host and they can put together, so you can request different events in your area. You can see our team of educators, and you have links to be able to reach out to them, to ask them questions as far as, how would I address this situation or this concern that I have right now? And then last, our training resources, we have all of the videos recorded, plus a whole library of other trainings that you can use and that are available for you to be able to take advantage of. And last but not least, our strategic alliance partnerships. Now when we're looking to be able to thrive in the new normal, there's a lot of opportunities through our strategic alliance partnerships, and a lot of voices from the contractors that belong to these groups, where you can get into chats and start to hear what other business owners are doing. And so it's a good opportunity for you to take a look, how can I invest in myself and in our business by getting involved in one of these great organizations that are out there. With all of that being said, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Matthew Plugoff, and he's going to talk about the virtual sales process. Matthew?
Hey, morning everybody. How are you? I hope that this finds you well and safe, and doing your best to flatten the curve. I was reminded, just sitting here listening to Ben, has had that moment where I had a really good idea right as he was asking me to shift and start to talk. When I think of the word virtual, and I'm just speaking for myself, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think that the first thing we have to do is acknowledge that there's an intimidation factor in the word virtual. And for a lot of us, myself included, I hear the word virtual and I automatically go to the farthest reaches of technology, where AI has dominated and the IoT is what we're swimming in. When in fact, I think that the best way to approach this entire topic is to understand that most of us listening have been participating in a virtual world for most of our lives in one form or another. And I'm referring specifically, what came to mind was the very first time my dad unpacked an Atari for my brother and we played Space Invaders, and we were immersed in a world that was in fact a virtual world. We were in a virtual world and have been in lots of ways for most of our lives. So let's dial the volume down a little bit on the mystery and recognize that all virtual really means for us as contractors and coaches is that the medium for expression is outside of the individual. The medium for communication, the medium for having an experience, does not solely belong to one person. And that's a huge advantage because it opens up a massive opportunity for scaling. That said, it's not probably time to ditch the in-home sales model just yet. I had a mind-blowing conversation with Jennifer yesterday that I'm still reeling from, and the impact of the internet is undeniable. Yet some of the data suggests that person-to-person contact is still a preferred method among many people. The question is, how will we use technologies like Tom's or perhaps David's to augment it? And so I'm sharing this with you because you can see a little bit that there are still purchase groups that really do prefer the face-to-face sales model. the 65 plus, even though they're very, 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 very active online. Speaking for my own mother and father in their 70s, they live online. But that is a group of people that still might prefer to work directly with an individual from a trust standpoint. And clearly the role that referrals play, peer-to-peer referrals, friends and neighbors and coworkers, that's always going to have probably an incredibly persuasive role in making buying decisions. So we're probably in the middle of a transition in one form or another, but there are still people that do prefer to have direct contact with an individual. We just simply need to get used to the idea that how that individual transfers his or her information may not be the same in the future. And furthermore, the contractor recommendation will always be a part of the purchase process as well. Surveyed homeowners, 45% of them bought a system because they talked to Matt's Heating and said, what do you think I should do? So they want to have that connection. They want to have that trust factor. It just may not necessarily be, eyeball to eyeball. Notably, by the way, only 11% of surveyed homeowners made a buying decision on price. So the role that technology plays in terms of helping us scale is really twofold. One, we have to come to terms with the fact that people still value the face-to-face experience. That's terrific. It's probably never going to go away. And at the same time, we also have to accept that the medium is the message. But on Monday, I did a podcast with a fella who provided some fantastic data regarding the benefits of virtual selling. And the things that he shared with me that we can all appreciate, and probably the reasons to get behind this from a selling standpoint. Number one, he watched his upsell, accessory, and cross-selling opportunities improve because he had a platform that was very consistent, and it also allowed the homeowner to do a lot of the self-selection for themselves. So, for example, in my house, we have a 19-year-old furnace and we have a 15-year-old water heater. If given a virtual platform that's very consistent, right, that really kind of downplays the salesperson's role in having to remember all the things to talk about, we will most likely sell ourselves up if given the option to do it on our own. Second, he shared with me some of the numbers that his ticket prices had gone up tremendously. In fact, he shared just last night some of the data. His ticket price had gone from the mid-7s to closer to the 10s. So he attributed that to, once again, when we buy online, we tend to sell ourselves up if given 3 or 4 choices and not the pressure of a salesperson with us or any of the scarcity associated with that. He watched his ticket price increase. And then, finally, there is a trust factor. And I think this is something that you may have a different opinion about than I do, but when I purchase something online, I just bought a book from Amazon, Digital Minimalism. I just bought a book. Do I trust that that is a proven method of communication? Do I rely on it? And the answer is, for me, absolutely. And so I think we're also at this point as organizations where we have to recognize that people do trust the relationship that they have with lots of other virtual e-commerce platforms, be it Costco or Amazon. The podcast is up. I'd invite you to listen to it. But when I asked him, why should people do this? Why should people begin to start to sell products online, or why should they use virtual platforms? He said, these are the 3 reasons. Cross-sell and upsell went up, ticket price went up, and people trust it. I also asked him, is it hard to get started? As Jennifer can attest, I am a neophyte. I'm not a technologically sophisticated person. But the answer is no, it's incredibly easy to get started. There are existing bolt-on products right now that if you've got a functional website, you can add these bolt-ons and turn your website into an e-commerce platform. And as Tom will share, he's got fantastic technology as well. So this is not some massive digital divide. There are existing products out there that are working and don't take a huge investment or a huge amount of time. So if you want to listen to this particular podcast, I would encourage you to go back. It's on Monday of this week, and I'll share the information with you there. But to me, this week is kind of a benchmark. How we buy is never going to be the same. And I honestly believe that we're going to get through this as an industry, but it will reshape the DNA of how we serve customers, how we sell to customers. I referenced this article on LinkedIn this week. Small businesses, this guy, Robert Wolcott, forecasts maybe have 5 years and probably less to really get serious and fluent about their digital strategy. So I look at this particular topic and say, we still have to train, we still have to sell. It's going to be different. And as you may know, I'm offering online coaching at the Sales Lab. You can use your accrual funds. And I put up some statistics this week on my website. You know, I like the industry data I'm getting right now. And as a way to say thanks, right? If you go to aaronfletching.com to the Sales Lab tab, there is a white paper, How and Why People Buy HVAC Systems. It's got the best data that I have been able to find. It should help you really think differently about where you see your sales model going. And if you have any questions about the Sales Lab, please give me a ring. You can use your accrual funds. Here's all my contact information. I would encourage you to listen to the pods that were posted this week. They really will change your perspective. So thank you guys. Happy selling. Stay safe. And let's go into the digital frontier together.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your business to work on your business. I'm Jennifer Beckley, CEO of CI Web Group. You guys, we're entrepreneurs. We are the best prep people on the entire planet to handle something really hard. That's what we do. It's never been as easy from day one. So right now, I ask everyone on this call, you guys, we have to focus on all the things we can do. We can't sit in a zone, in a land where we have to concentrate on all the problems, the challenges, the things we can't change, the things we can't do. We have to figure out and have an execution strategy to be able to think tactical right now. We, as a team, have to be pragmatic, tactical, and we have to execute faster than we ever have before. Right now, with everything that is going on, all of us have to change our mindset from thinking 3 years out and 5 years out to thinking in sprints. 7 to 14 days. Things are going to change that fast. They already are. You see it. Now, getting down to tactics. Last week, if you missed the webinar, we shared a handful of things that you guys need now. Number one, you've got to put a safety notification up on your site. If you go to ciwebgroup.com/free, fill out that form. We posted 6 different letters that you can easily modify, put them up on your site. We also posted on our blog a video that it discusses safety protocols, how the environment has changed, how you guys are reacting to it, how you care about your employee as well as your consumer's safety. In addition to that, we posted an entire library of social media graphics. You have access to those. Those are yours. Use as many of them as you like. The times are changing. We talked about social media becoming something that is one of the best vehicles for you to be able to communicate with people in your local community. Now, those are there. Let's get those things done. That's tactics for week 1. Talking about week 2. Right now, we need to set ourselves up to be able to work from anywhere. We've created a book. It's an online ebook. You guys can grab this, and I'm sure it's going to evolve. That's why we put it in an ebook, so that it's not static. It's not print on paper. But How to Work from Anywhere, the digital transformation book, is going to help you guys be able to fine-tune every single element of your business, starting with your marketing. First and foremost, your website needs very, very small changes in most cases. If you have a website that is functional at this point, that's fine. What we need to do is we need to connect with consumers based on what makes them feel comfortable right now. So you may change a handful of icons on the top of your website so that they say, schedule a virtual meeting, apply for financing online. You might have already had financing or apply for financing. Just switch it up and put online on there. allowing somebody to be able to do a virtual appointment on your website, to be able to choose. The bottom line is, it's not about our personal preference in this environment. It's simply about giving consumers the ability to choose what makes them comfortable. Making your website be able to function in this environment is first and foremost. It is your new office. It is your new Salesforce in many instances, and it is your voice. And it has to communicate in a format that consumers are going to be able to connect with. Next, you need a broadcasting system. Social media and video are going to become ever more important. They already are. If you're not communicating using these tools, now is the time to do so. The challenge is every business is in a different position right now, and your marketing efforts are different, or your strategies are different depending on whether you are a business who's solely operated via referrals and you don't have a digital presence, you don't have a digital footprint, you don't have the network, the friends, the following, or the rankings to be an option to consumers who are now specifically going to the internet to find solutions. You're going to have a different strategy. That's one of the things we're covering in our webinar on Wednesday. Also, those of you that have the technology but don't have the rankings or the followings, that's wildly important and an entirely different strategy. As well as those of you who do have a website, you do have a page 1 rankings, you are already listed so that you are an option for the services you want to sell in the cities you want to sell it. Now we need to make some very quick adjustments, tactical adjustments, to make sure that consumers and you can function and operate in a safe environment. Some little things that we've made changes on our sites and our client sites right now. Number 1, we added schedule a virtual service. We gave them the ability to use the online scheduling system to allow a dealer to help a customer in a quick video or Zoom call, and they can charge for it before the meeting actually takes place. That's something really simple. Everybody can implement. It's an add-on online scheduling system that connects to a virtual medium like Zoom, which you're on right now. That's completely free to get a Zoom account. That's an easy win. Another easy win is getting your maintenance programs into an online subscription format, so somebody can easily drop in a credit card, get on a recurring plan. In addition to that, things like auto ship for filters, auto ship for parts and things that they need on a regular basis. Now they are looking, they don't want to go out to Costco or Walmart. They want to be able to sign up and have a filter show up every time they need to change it out. That's something you can get on your website instantaneously, get a recurring subscription going on, and that's something you guys can deliver that's of value as well. Next, communications. 1, an online scheduling system, that's first. Second, an AI chatbot that connects to an online scheduling system where you can do virtual meetings, that's next. Your phone systems, making sure you have VoIP phone systems. Inside this workbook, we've got lots of different solutions that teach you how to take your existing landlines, quickly get those rerouted so that you guys are functioning as far as your phones from anywhere instantaneously. Next, we need to make sure that essentially your email and text marketing or list building activities are clearly containing the information that's necessary for you to be able to use both of those mediums for communication. Email, very important. Text, very important. So in the past, you may not have been collecting cell phone numbers. Now's the time. Next, G Suite and video chat systems, making sure that you guys are in a position to be able to access your email and your documents from any computer, anywhere. There's an entire section on there that talks a little bit about how you guys can quickly migrate out of a traditional software that's installed on a local hard drive, such as Microsoft Outlook or Office, and be able to get into the cloud so that you have access, no matter if you're working on a tablet, on a phone, on a computer, or a laptop, without having to buy any additional software. Next, on the financing side, now's the time when we need to have solutions in place. Obviously, Matt's going to talk about financing, making sure those financing options are clear as day on your website, that they're posted inside of a slider, easy for consumers to be able to get access to. They can apply quickly online or via text. Also, we need to quickly get monthly recurring subscription systems set up. You guys have got to be able to allow a customer to be able to put in a credit card online like they do with everything else in their business and it automatically bill their card on whatever terms they and you choose to make available and or opt into. Monthly recurring revenue is going to be wildly important. It already was, and I'll cover where I was going to go. Next, e-commerce for your one-time sales, as well as being able to make online payments as they're booking appointments. Being able to pay online to have a virtual call, that's not difficult. It's simple. It's already built. This was here well before we got into this situation we're in right now. Tom's going to talk about virtual sales presentations, the same tools you use for booking appointments and collecting money and being able to share options are the same tools that should also be presented in a virtual sales environment or used in a virtual sales environment. Next is going to be the operations elements. Within the book, there is essentially different kinds of tools you can use right now and technology to be able to ramp up your internet if you're dealing with bandwidth issues. Also, to be able to get your mail from anywhere, using something like Earth Class Mail, that's something you can have in place tomorrow and not have to worry about going into the office to get your mail. A document scanning system, being able to take that box, ship it over to WeScan Files, get it back, and now all of your information is in a digital space. Obviously, dispatching systems, your operations being able to deploy from home, and making sure that with your distributors, you're able to utilize systems you might not have used before. They have e-commerce systems, they have online ordering systems, they have phone apps you can order from. So find out from your distributors what kind of options are available for that, as well as for pickup. Being able to determine, are they doing curbside pickup? Are they gonna drop it off at your customer's house or your office? Can you pick up from a locker? These are all things that you guys can implement right now. This is not expensive. This is not that complicated. I know the list is big, but I promise we can walk you through it really easily and just figure out what are the things you need to put in place right now to be able to tactically go to work tomorrow. With that, I'm going to show you on the next slide a couple different options so you can see kind of what I'm showing here. This is simple things you can make changes on your site right now, right? Schedule a virtual service. Having an area where your customers can come online, they can schedule an appointment, they can do a video walkthrough, they can share documents back and forth, they can pay for an appointment in advance before the call starts. All of that is built into the site. In a virtual chatbot, we have the ability to do the same thing. I want to schedule a call. I want to book a virtual service. I want to post a review to the website, request a quote. I want to troubleshoot my system issues to see if it's something simple, like maybe the thermostat's turned off or the batteries are dead. Maybe it's something they can fix themselves. So having an online troubleshooting system built into an AI chatbot, right now, all of these technologies will help you technically become efficient and get where we already should have been anyway. I hate to say that some of what's happening right now, it's not new. This isn't, all of these things that I'm showing you are not something that I had to create right now this week because we're in some kind of a chaos. This is in the workshop I've been doing for years through the Academy and the Business Toolbox Training Center and so forth. It's technically not new. We have dealers who have implemented these strategies as they've sat in an 8 or a 16-hour workshop. They're already using file sharing systems. They're already doing virtual quotes. They're already doing all of this. And this was last year and the year before. So again, it's not about that this is new. You see these tools, they already existed. It's only about making sure that your messaging, your marketing, and most importantly, your mindset is set up to do business today, because the customer was already here well before the businesses need to get here. We're behind. Now's the time to catch up and meet customers where they already were and where they already have been, and what they give them what they expect already. With that, speaking of customers, introduce you to Brigham Dickinson, one of my favorite people. Brigham's going to talk to you a little bit about people.
Awesome. Good job, Jennifer. That was really great. Very informative. So last year, I had the opportunity to opportunity. I went to a dermatologist. I don't know if that's an opportunity or not, but I was sitting there, and this guy was hard to get into. Older gentleman, and get into his chair, and he's talking about everything you shouldn't talk about: politics and religion and you name it. And I thought to myself, wow, this guy's pretty interesting. Next thing I know, he's opening my head. And, you know, I had a bump on my head, and he was going to take it out. And he opened me up without gloves on. And I thought for sure, this is interesting. This is weird. And although it was something I was observing, I wasn't totally uncomfortable. In fact, after he sewed me up, I had to go back 2 hours later because he apparently cut open a blood vessel on accident and had to come back in, open me back up, fix everything that was going on in there, and sew it back up. And so the back of your head going, wow, not only is this gross, this guy is interesting. And I could have given this guy a bad review, but I didn't. And as I was driving home, I just thought to consider why. In fact, when I had to go back, I was kind of excited to see him again, this older gentleman. And I just continued to consider why. And I came to realize it's because I liked him. He broke all the rules. He didn't wear gloves. He talked about politics. He talked about religion. He talked about it all. And I was okay with it. Why? Because I liked him. There have been some great points made today. Lots of ways to communicate with your customer: over the phone, face-to-face, virtually, with the different chat bots that are out there. It's all great. It's all fantastic. Do not forget the one thing that this dermatologist did so well, and that is he was able to create an emotional connection with his customers. Now, in this touchscreen age, and your person-to-person skills, well, they've, at least among our people, they've begun to erode. In fact, they may not even be developed, and there's a lot of reasons for that. These days, that depression or despair is on the rise. In fact, this is before the lockdown. Baby boomers, 15% of them were feeling despair, feeling lonely. Before the lockdown, Gen Xers, 20% of them felt lonely, felt like they didn't have any friends. Before the lockdown, 30% of millennials felt lonely, felt despair. So I don't know what it is now, but we could probably bet that it's a whole lot higher. And there's a lot of reasons for that. People get married later in life these days. They don't necessarily go into religious or social groups, person-to-person social groups. They don't get into politics, not even political groups, which is so much fun, right? And they stopped all these things. And so those interpersonal skills that used to come natural way back when just aren't natural anymore. So those human-to-human connections, well, they go with that. And so if they're not getting it from their political groups or their religious groups or from that relationship because they're not being in a committed relationship until later on in life, well, then my goodness gracious, how the heck are they going to learn to connect with other people? It falls to the leader, especially in times like these. You guys, as leaders, we are enrolled for credit right now, and it is pass or fail. We've got to be on our game. We've got to look at this in long term and commit ourselves to our team, our people. They are the most valuable asset we have. They need to feel that they are the most valuable asset we have. So we've got to work with them. We've got to inspire them. We've got to motivate them. And we need to provide a purpose for them. You see, what creates happiness, according to Stephen R. Covey, is two things. It's relationships and accomplishments. And right here in this business, what we can do right now is we can help fragile-minded customers. Why are they feeling fragile? Well, it's because, in part, they're out of toilet paper, among other things, and sanitizer and so on and so forth. They're in a fragile state. And we have an opportunity to serve them. We have an opportunity to help them. Consider the amount of relationships that can be built, long-term relationships, as well as the accomplishments we can have if we can turn the focus of our team to their people, AKA the homeowner. There's never been a more important time to do it. So in order to help you do that, in order to help you with those relationships and those accomplishments, create that emotional connection, you have the Your People program. It's a program that we presented last week in last week's webinar. But you just go to powerslingpros.com/yourpeople, and it's a virtual group coaching program to help you create those emotional connections with wow experiences with the homeowner. So also last week we were talking about happy calling your customers, and I'm sure everybody's been happy calling their customers. Well, for those of you who have not yet or haven't proactively gone and done that yet, we're going to help you with that. In fact, if you'll see on the next slide here, once we get to it, right here, we're going to give you some free resources. Right here, we have a outbound calling script. It's a happy call script focused just on the types of calls that we need to be making today. During this lockdown, everybody's stuck at home and they're using the air conditioner more than they've ever used it before. And it's great. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful time. And it's a time to reach out to them. All right. Especially if we don't have phone calls coming in right now. We should be calling them right now. So to get this script, all you have to do is text the 385-247-3714 and give us your email. Guys, when you do this, and you should be pulling out your phones right now and texting right now. When you do this, you give us your email, you're going to get the free script. Not only are you going to get the free script, you're also going to get a free demonstration by two of our best trainers. You've got Eric O'Nor and Stephen Dell, who will demonstrate how this script should sound. Now, what's cool about this is no matter how you communicate with your customer, whether it's over the phone, whether it's online with the chatbot or what have you, you have the ability to create this emotional connection. We'll give you the tools to do it. So once again, it's an outbound call framework, a happy call, and an IQ offer script. You're going to have 3 outbound training videos that go along with it, so you're going to be able to see those videos. The reason why this is so important is because you're going to have employees that go, oh, okay, you want us to happy call our customers, but how do we do it? Well, we're going to make it so easy. So easy. They're going to have the videos. They're going to have the example script. They're going to have it all. All they have to do is text that number and they'll get it. Now, this outbound strategy and the demonstrations that come with it, the audio demonstrations as well as the training videos, are an example of what you get in the live virtual group coaching program, which is found at powerslingpros.com/yourpeople. So again, our goal is to help you create emotional connections with your customers, whether it's over the phone, whether it's over the kitchen table or outside in the backyard because you're kind of concerned about the virus or they're concerned about it. We can help you. We'll help you through the entire process. We'll help you motivate your team and lead them. Because remember, we are enrolled for credit, and it is pass or fail. With that, I'll pass it on over to our good friend David.
Thanks so much, Brigham. We appreciate everybody's involvement in this program. I think it's a very powerful thing. You know, we always think about, you've heard, probably a lot of you have heard the phrase divine intervention. And this whole divine intervention that we're experiencing right now, to me, is like a divine disruption, right? It's really, really, really disrupting our business. And one of the things that we have to do is we have to think about the solutions to this disruption. What can we do to take advantage of these opportunities? Well, when we think about virtual training, you got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, guess what? You're not going to get there. And it's a real simple format here: who, what, when, where, why, and how. So who needs training, right? Think about this with your company right now. Who needs the training that you need to be working on right now in the absence of going out and actually running calls? It sounds like the government wants to pay you to stay home right now. right? So we want to stay distant, but they also want to say, look, we want you to be ready to go when you get back out there in the field. When we release the floodgates, we want you to be sharp. We want you to be sharpening your axe right now. So the question you need to ask right now is, who on your team needs training, and what skills do they need? What are the things they need? Do they need help in answering the phone and dealing with the stuff that Brigham was just talking about? Do they need the stuff that Jen was talking about and Matt was talking about in terms of their ability to communicate, right? When should we train? Well, right now is a really good time, right? Right now is a really good time, because if you're not out running calls, you're on the bench. You ought to at least be sharpening the saw, so to speak. Like, we need to get where we can do this stuff. Where can we train? Well, obviously we're limited right now. We're very limited in where we can train, because right now we're mostly on lockdown throughout the entire country. So the where answer is right here where you are right now. I mean, we had over 1,000 people registered for this webinar. That's amazing. That's amazing to get that many people on a webinar at the same time to talk about these subjects. But you people are actually doing what we're talking about right now. You're embracing the opportunity to change your way of doing things. Because I promise you, normally on Friday afternoon, you wouldn't be here doing this, or Friday morning, depending on which time zone you're in. Why? Why is the skill that you're trying to train for important? You know, why is it important that people are able to actually have a proper conversation with the customer? Why is it important that you can determine a safe or unsafe system operation? And then how? How are we going to justify the investment in training? I've heard way too many times, you know, I don't want to spend a lot of money on training because what if they leave? All right. We all know the rest of that story. You know, worst case is, what if you don't train them and they stay? Right? We're not interested in that either. So what we're really looking for is, we're looking for a trained force that can take us to this next level, because this new normal, we got a lot of new skills we need to be looking at. So one of the things we did is we started cataloging the training courses that are available to you. If you're a part of this family, if you're part of the Goodman, Amana, and Franklin family, you have a lot of resources that are available to you. And we've put together a training course catalog, and we'll continue to expand this as more courses become available. But with this, and I know it's difficult to see in this small of a format, but once you get this catalog in your possession, you're going to be able to explore it in a variety of ways. You can look at it from a course title standpoint, what phase in the HVAC business cycle does this support? What is the type of course? Who's the vendor that's teaching it? Those types of things are all available on this page. You can also go in there and select stuff. So if you're looking for instance, advanced technical training, you'll be able to just click on one of the drop downs and say, I'm just looking for advanced technical training. Or if you're just looking for financing information, or if you're just looking for instance, I don't know, an EGIA class, you can go in there and say, I just want to look for vendor equals EGIA, and it'll pull it up, right? So you have the ability to select in this database. Very simple. And the third piece is the why, the who, right? So we think about the who here. For each course, you're able to say, of my sales, service, installation, and administration teams, is this a managerial level class? Is this an administrative class? Or is this a technical level class? So you'll be able to make a plan for what course a person needs to attend. So you can decide who needs what training once, and then implement that as you go forward. And then you wind up with a plan, right? Then you work that plan. So this is just an example of a service technician master training plan, where there's a variety of skills that the owner, the boss, wants to actually get into that person's head, into their toolbox, so to speak. And then what's the course that they want them to take, whether it's an online course or a live course. We will get back to live training one day, people. But right now, you could focus all your efforts on remote courses, right, on online courses, and make a plan for how you want to get it done. And then as you get them completed, the last 3 columns on here is When did you complete it? How much was that cost? And what was the result of that class? What was your thought or your evaluation of that workshop? Because one thing you for sure want to know is from your people that you send to classes is you need to find out from them, did they find the training important? Did they find it good or bad, right? You need to know what their opinion of the training is, because if you understand that, then you know whether or not you want to continue or not. So we got a free training planner for you, right? This is a big Excel spreadsheet. If you go to ncilink.com/trial, at the bottom of that page, you're actually also going to get a free 30-day NCI membership trial, which includes some online training as a part of that. If you type in the invite code of Thriving, we will know exactly where you found out about this, and we appreciate it. Now, hey, Tom, I got an idea, man. Why don't you sell me an air conditioner over the internet real quick?
Thank you, Dave. I think that's a great idea. I have to say it's a privilege and a pleasure to be here working with everybody, and this is a really exciting project for all of us. You know, the virtual comfort advisor is important. One of my favorite sayings from Gretzky was that good hockey players know how to meet the puck where it's at. Great hockey players know how to anticipate where the puck's going to be. And this is one of those critical times in our industry, and quite frankly, every industry, that we need to anticipate how the customer wants to buy, because it's shifting, and give them some options. So I'm not saying that there isn't a need for in-home comfort advisors, but as long as we give them options as how they want to purchase that product, I think we're going to be wildly more successful. So instead of me talking about it, what do you say we give you a little experience as what I'm talking about? Dave, if you wouldn't mind helping me out here for a little bit, buddy. I'm going to share my screen real quickly. Right here. And okay, am I sharing my screen, Dave?
We got it, man. I can see your screen right there.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Now, I only have about 8 minutes to do this. So obviously, we're not going to be able to cover every single part of this process. Over the next 14 weeks, though, I'm going to be working diligently to break every single function of this new sales process down and presenting it in consecutive order. To Dave's purpose, Dave, I just want to give an example of what's possible. Is that fair?
That makes sense.
Okay, so to set the stage a little bit, I connected with Dave yesterday, sent him a link for his phone and also a link for his computer. And on Dave's computer, this is the presentation we had. And at one point, I asked Dave to take his phone around to the outdoor unit, the line sets, the air handler, any areas of the home that had challenges. And it was really cool because I took screenshots on my iPad, and I was able to take those screenshots and load them up in the picture categories so that we could solve some meaningful problems. I just want to give you a heads up. We'll be incorporating that. We're not going to go how to do that piece of it today, but we will be incorporating it into the presentation. Okay? So first of all, Dave, I understand you're interested in upgrading your heating and air conditioning system. Is that right?
That is correct, Tom.
Okay. Well, tell me about that. What's going on?
Well, 16-year-old house, and it's the original residential new construction stuff in here, and it's time to put in one of those new inverters or something. I mean, I've heard a lot about those.
Okay, well, fantastic. First of all, thanks and congratulations on getting ahead of the curve. A lot of people wait at the very last minute. When it fails, it's usually really hot or really cold. So that's smart. I'll tell you, we have a couple of options for you. I'd be happy to pop by your place and visit with you for about 60 or 90 minutes, do an evaluation on the home, and find out exactly what it's going to take care of you. We can go over some options until you're comfortable with the price. Or if you have about 45 minutes right now, we can connect and we can do everything virtually as long as you're willing maybe to take a few pictures for me. Which would you rather do?
I've got an elderly aunt here, and she is scared to death of anybody walking in the house right now. So why don't we do that virtual thing you're talking about, Tom?
Okay, great. Let's do that. I'm going to go ahead and send you a link, and just let me know when you have it popped up on your computer. Looks like we have it ready right now, right?
Yep, we're there.
Okay. So first of all, let's go ahead and make sure that I have your information correct here. And get our proposal list. And David Holt, 11678 Holt Avenue, Nashville, Tennessee. David H. at NCIH HEAC and 706-332-2212.
That is
accurate?
correct. Yep.
Okay, fantastic. So before we begin, what I'd like to do is just, first of all, let you know what goes into the price. There's really three basic things: the size of the system, and we're going to do a heating and cooling load just to make sure we get the right size to keep you comfortable. And there are also engineering requirements, making sure that the ductwork is adequate, make sure that the new system is going to perform well. But there's also lifestyle factors, and maybe what types of controls you want and different things like that. Once we decide what type of system you want, then we can move forward with putting different options together. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that smart home thing, I can just go ahead and tell you that's going to be a high priority because I've already got a smart home set up. So I definitely want to be able to tie into that.
Okay, well, fantastic. Got one in my house. I love it. But just to make sure I don't miss anything, I've had a couple of questions I'd like to ask you. And on the left-hand side are, some things about efficiency, controls, warranty. Obviously, you want a smart home, so you would be interested in Wi-Fi and something that will automatically adjust. If there was one or two other things on the left-hand side that was most important to you, what would that be?
Well, definitely this, I don't know what zoning means, but talking about an area of my house that's too hot or too cold, we've definitely got that. I have a Sunday afternoon book study that we do at my house, and we'll get about 16 people in our living room. So a lot of times it gets uncomfortable because of that. And then we got a sunroom right outside of that room that also gets pretty uncomfortable. So that looks like that's an area that we'd be interested in talking about.
Okay, we'll check that off. And then on the right-hand side, this is more about humidity control, purification, humidification, filtration, purification, and ventilation. If there's two or three things over here that you would be most interested in, what one or two things would that be?
How about all six of them, actually? We got pets. We got a wife that's got all kind of allergies. We got little old Auntie Ellen who's got all kind of respiratory issues. I think we're in for all of that.
Okay. All right. That will work. Well, let me ask you, Dave, how long has that been going on?
Well, Auntie Ellen's 86, I think. As far as I know, it's been forever for her. My wife, as long as I've known her, we've been married 35 years. And the dog's been here for 6. So
Okay.
at least that long. How's that?
Fair enough. Well, I think we have a few things we might be able to do to reduce some of those allergy triggers for you.
Good.
So just to make sure that I'm clear, what we're talking about is reducing allergy triggers, even out hot and cold spots primarily. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Anything else not on this list that you'd be interested in?
I think those are the big triggers for us.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. So was there a particular brand that you had in mind? I'm going to pause right here, guys, for a moment. This is the part where we'll talk about the brand, and we'll tell the story about why we partnered with Goodman and Amana, and then your company story to make sure that the customer is comfortable doing business with a company like you, and of course the iceberg. We're going to skip over that for now in the sake of time, and then the next step would be for Dave and I to walk through on his phone, and I would ask you to go to the outdoor unit, to the nameplate, the indoor unit, and take the critical areas of the home that he may be having some issues with. And what I do is I'll just take screenshots, put it in my photo gallery, and that uploads right into the system. Is everybody on the same page? So we're just going to fast forward this a little bit. So we're walking back to the table. Say, Dave, I appreciate you taking the time to do that. Really, the next step for us is to build a combination of 3 or 4 systems that will match what you want. And then once we do that, we can decide which one makes the most sense. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to select match systems with you. The first thing we're going to look at is you have a heat pump, and it's going to be a Goodman. Inside type is an air handler, and we're going to be looking at a 2-ton. We did our heating and cooling load. It looks like that's what we need. And then I'm going to add. What this is going to do, Dave, it's going to bring up all of the matched systems that are available that fit the different categories, okay? Now, we're going to have best, better, and good. Now, the good system is going to be very similar to what you have. As far as temperature and humidity control, we're going to be adding some additional items that will improve the purification and filtration a little bit later on, okay? And then the best system that we're going to be looking at right now is going to be the a 2-stage heat pump. The efficiency rating on it is fairly high. It's about 18. And you're also going to have a variable speed indoor blower, which will do a really great job for you and even out some of the hot and cold spots. Plus, with the filtration and purification, we're going to be exchanging the air in the home more frequently, which will give you maximum capacity. The real exciting thing about that is, given it is a 2-stage with a variable, it'll do a better job of humidity control.
Hey, Tom,
Yes.
you don't even need to go any further. That's the one I want. Can Matthew get me financing?
Absolutely.
Can he?
Yes.
How about if Matthew gives me some financing real quick?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to add this to your proposal right here. And there's one more thing I would like to show you quickly. And that's going to be for your base unit. Okay. So here we're going to go a ductless. And we're going to go with the Series LV. Okay, and we're going to put in for a heat pump, and we're going to go a 12,000 BTU. Then I'm going to go add. Then I'm going to go ahead and just add this one to the better category. This is for your 4-season room and the other room where you have a large congregation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what that will do is it'll put a nice unit on the wall, and then your outdoor unit, and you can set it and forget it. And this is actually a modulating variable speed as well. Okay?
Cool.
Now, along with that, the warranties, you get 10-year parts, lifetime unit replacement for your split system, and 12-year limited parts for your ductless split. We're also going to be installing purification and filtration, which will do a very, very good job taking a lot of the viruses and everything out that's in. You'll have a fully functional communicating thermostats for your system that you choose, along with a UV technology. And what UV technology will do is it'll disinfect the air. It's very similar to hydrogen peroxide, actually disinfects the pet. Can you see how those enhancements can help?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. It comes completely installed with everything necessary to make sure the job is done correctly. And let's go to the summary real quickly for what we're looking at. So your total investment for the best system that has the very humidity control, very low operating cost, is $12,083, or monthly payments for around $166. And then if you want to add on the ductless split, that's going to be an additional investment. You know what? Let me take a second here to correct this. Okay, that'll additional investment of $7,707 with low monthly payments. My question to you: are you interested in going with the best system first and then doing the ductless split later, or do you want to put them together and see what that would look like?
I just want Matthew to get me some financing.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm ready to do the whole project, Tom.
Good enough.
About financing.
All right. So let's go ahead and move this guy over real quickly. Move. We'll put it all on the same proposal, and here's our summary on the best system. Okay, it's equipment, warranties, enhancements, install additions, and finally our summary. Okay, so so the total for the entire project is at $19,036. We talk about the different financing options for you. We can go with a 12 months, no payments here. And within the end of the 12 months, it'll just be a final payout of $19,037. Or we can go with a 7-year reduced rate here. And that will put your monthly payments at $287. So we have 3 options for you. Which one makes more sense?
I'm going to just write you a check. I'm tired of waiting on Matthew. He can't get me any financing.
Okay.
No,
Fair enough.
we'll take care of it. Yeah.
Good. So we'll go ahead and select that. And then finally, just need a signature and we can get you taken care of.
Awesome.
Dave, thank you for that. I'm certain that I probably went over on time. And if you get in the chat box, we have a link for you to sign up for 4 group presentations online. Please sign up. Clayton is waiting for you to answer any of your questions, and I'll hand it over to my friend Matthew from EGIA.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. Now I'm supposed to be following up right on what you're focusing on with your program. I'm going to help close this thing with some great financing options. David, I'm going to get back to you in just a minute with some incredible options that I think you're really going to be attracted. They're going to answer and speak to what you're looking for right now. But before we get into the actual finance options, I want to at least speak to something that was mentioned earlier with Jennifer in particular. And I want to make sure that we're all aware of the tools that have been created by our finance companies that are going to help you speak to your consumers right now in the climate that we are in, right? And what we see on the screen here is we've got GreenSky, EnerBank, and Mosaic. Every one of these lenders has the ability, very, very simply, working with someone like Jennifer, to get their buttons right on the website. Let's allow customers to have access to financing without even leaving their home, right? In the case over here of EnerBank, you can see you can highlight 12-month savings cash or 7-year term at a reduced rate, and you can use those buttons to actually attract customers and let them know that they can apply online without even leaving their home, okay? And it doesn't have to be 12-month savings cash. We can skin these any way you want to customize to your offer, but the application process would be the exact same. GreenSky has the exact same thing. If you look over here, no interest, no payments for 12 months, apply now. One of the abilities that GreenSky and Mosaic, as we are going to be looking at these online applications, one of these abilities and one of the things that are very attractive to both of those programs is customers are going to be able to apply from the comfort of their home and have a soft credit pull. They're actually going to be able to get approved without it hitting their credit, so that they don't have to go through the entire process and feel like they're affecting their credit or they're committing to something. They can actually find out whether they're qualified very softly. One of Mosaic's selling tools that is really sexy right now in the market is the ability to text the application to the consumer. So when we talk about, social distancing, Mosaic's going to have a process that's going to allow the tech or the office admin or whoever it's going to be to literally send a text to your consumer and have them apply right on their own device. Again, with a soft credit pull, get a full approval without it hitting their credit so they can find out. So the question is, we're highlighting these three lenders. David, what I want to highlight to you is the best offers that are coming up. So why do we want to use these lenders? Well, because right now they're going to a little bit of a stimulus package. So what we're looking at is we have a couple different offers from these banks that are going to be really, really attractive. We look at Mosaic, they're offering a 12-month no-no at a 6% dealer fee. They also have a 7-year 6.99 reduced interest rate that has a nice payment factor, okay, at 6%. But here's the thing. Right now, for the next 60 days, for April and May, Mosaic is going to be matching the Goodman Amana rebate of 3% to make it an effective 6% match, which means these are virtually, to stay in the theme of today's meeting, they're virtually free. So right now, through April and May, if you use Mosaic on a 12-month no-no or a 7-year 6.99 rate at a 6% dealer fee, we can rebate the money, the dealer fee, directly back to you, and it will be free for you. If you want to go to EnerBank, if EnerBank's the lender of your choice, we have a 12-month, no payment, same as cash, right? So the same thing, 12-month no-no with a 5.49 dealer fee. And again, EnerBank is going to be matching the dealer fee, and that is going to be virtually zero for you. And then on the bottom, we've got GreenSky. Now, GreenSky's created a program that we have not even rolled out, and we're rolling it out and we're announcing it today. The GreenSky program is a true 6-month, 0% interest rate. It's not the same as cash. It is a true, for the next 6 months, the interest rate will be zero with no payments. So you don't have to be worrying about making a payment, and you'll have no interest accruing whatsoever in the next 6 months. If that doesn't work for you, you can convert it directly over to a 999 for a 10-year term, which gives you a nice low payment factor of 1.32, and GreenSky will be doing the exact same thing. They and EGIA will be matching the rebate that is available through Goodman Amana Daikin to effectively bring that 6% dealer fee down to zero through May 31st. So here we are taking these programs that are that are absolutely the most popular in the market right now. We're talking to consumers the way they want to. We're offering them no interest, and we're offering them no payments for the next 6 to 12 months. And we're going to bring the dealer fee effectively down to zero. And one of the things to announce that I just heard, and I'm sure Ben will follow up behind me on this, is if you're a if you're an Amana, if you're a Liberty dealer, if you're Daikin, you have the ability to get that rebate. We are now opening it up. We're going to be announcing today, we're opening it up to all of Goodman. So now all of Goodman will have the absolute opportunity to have a 3% financing. And by using any one of these lenders, whether it be Mosaic, EnerBank, or GreenSky, you will be able to get a matching rebate. This is cash back to you, a matching rebate that will effectively make all these programs for the next 60 days at no cost. So the question is, how do we get you signed up for these things? How do we get you going? Well, we get you going to egia.org/Goodman or EGIA/Amana, and we get you registered for these programs. Okay, we have a simple registration. We have a universal dealer application that is good for any of the lenders. So it's one process for any lender. Again, if you go to egia.org/Goodman or egia.org/Amana, they'll bring you to the page. You can click on the lenders. You can take a look at the lenders' rate sheets. You'll be able to have easy access to their processes. And then what we'll do is we'll get you to create a user interface page so that you can literally sign on, fill out the Universal Dealer app, and we can qualify you for any of these programs, as well as other ones, like our Second Look Foundation that everybody should sign on. What I want people to understand is the process takes 3 to 4 days to get approved. If you don't fill out the information thoroughly, if you're driving a dealer there to get the information filled out thoroughly, or if you are a dealer and you're going to this to get online, please complete the application thoroughly up front. 90% of our delays in enrollment are because somebody has not included their check for ACH, or they have not filled out all the information as required. Put it in there as much as possible, because right now finance is an incredibly important thing. We're getting a ton of enrollments, and I want to make sure you have the ability to take advantage of these offers. We want to take advantage of the new Goodman rebate, because this is the first time Goodman's offered a 3% rebate on the Goodman product. The banks are going to be giving you a cash back so that you can offer the programs to your customers. We want to make sure you take advantage of these programs. So please go to egia.org/Goodman or egia.org/Amana and make sure you get us signed up. If you're on one of those programs and you're not familiar with EGIA, who are you going to call? Where are you going to go? Well, I'll tell you where you're going to go. You're going to call me directly, or send me an email directly, or you're going to call one of my two outside sales guys that are going to be dedicated towards this program to make sure we get you online. And that is going to be Eric Goody, who handles the central part of the United States, or Mike Brisbane, who handles the eastern part of the United States. So you can reach out to them. If we can get the next slide, that would be awesome. There we go. So if you had Mike Brisbane, you can reach out to Mike at mbrisbane@egia.org, or there's his number. You can certainly reach out to Eric Goody. He's through the central. There's his email at goody@egia.org, or you can certainly reach out to me. You can text me, you can call me, or if you email me at mbratsis@egi.org, I will give you information on the upcoming Goodman Amana 3% rebate. I'll give you the information on the financing buy downs that are part of this, so that you can get your matching buy downs. We will make sure you get on the right program. Please reach out today. Do not delay in this. And yes, we are going to be getting one that works out in Canada. I'm coming up with an offer for Canada. So if you shoot me an email, I will be able to get those that are in Canada on a finance programming as well, with a special buy down as well. Thank you. I went through that fairly quickly because I know we're pressed for time. With that, I'm going to hand it back to Ben Middleton. Ben, you can take us home.
All right. Thank you so much to all of our panelists. I really appreciate everybody taking time to go through this great information with all of our contractors. And, I hope that all of these tools are going to be useful to you guys in the next coming days as we get ready to roll out these new strategies and be able to serve our customers the best way that we can. The last thing, and I'm going to just take a couple of just 1 or 2 minutes here that I want you to think about. But I want you to think about your virtual presence strategy too. When your customer has a problem, who do they think of? Where are they going? What are they looking at? In the past, there's been this old thermostat debate. Everybody's heard that when you ask a customer which type of furnace they have in their home, they all say Honeywell. We actually saw 2 years ago, we did our own survey of 100 homeowners and saw that Nest had surpassed Honeywell. And then last year we did the same survey and Honeywell came back in the first place again. So that old adage still holds true. But where are your customers seeing you on a regular basis? Jennifer talked last week about your social media strategy. Are you available when they have concerns or questions? Are you one of the options that shows up in their social media strategy? Are you the one that's providing their home automation solutions and being able to be involved in that strategy that they have? And in the future, we're going to have to make sure that we're relevant when it comes to voice. And people are asking for service and maintenance and different things along those lines. And so these are all things that I want you to think about at how you can make sure that you remain top of mind with your customers out there and that you have that virtual presence in their home as you look at your long-term marketing or your customer life strategy and what it is that you're trying to accomplish. With all of that being said, I did want to announce we're going to spotlight a third-party training partner each and every week that we go through this program. And the third-party training partner I'm spotlighting this week is Arrow & Fletching. Matt talked about this at the beginning of the program, so please go check out the Sales Lab. He's got a lot of great tools and information there, and we'll be spotlighting some other third-party training organizations as time moves forward as well. And last but not least, embrace technology. Continue to look for ways to streamline your business by embracing technology, and thank and encourage your people. Your people are the lifeblood of your company, and that will be the topic next week when we get all together. Is it's all about people. It's not about furnaces. It's not about air conditioners. It's not about thermostats. This is a people business, and we need to make sure that we remember that it's all about people in everything that we do. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you all next week at our next program.